Man versus van. Job number 9, sorting out the electrics. So it's now a matter of getting light fixtures, USB sockets, all connected up into the control box, get the battery and stuff installed, get it all set up here. I've kind of made a rough mark there where I'm going to bring the wiring in from behind this panel. Not quite sure if I'm going to settle on that though. I might get the wiring that come down the front of the panel. It's just a matter of which is more convenient, really. So I'm gonna see about placing this control panel. So how I'm going to do it is that'll be pretty much the edge of the storage. So the height of the seating will be about the same height as that. So let me see, probably about there somewhere. I'll put the control box. So I've decided that I'm going to do the wires behind the panel. So marked out roughly where they're going to be on the panel, and then brought this wire over for the control switch. So I'll kind of go about there somewhere. So I'm going to put a hole in that plywood panel, so all the wires should come out of it right there, and then the solar controller and stuff will be here, and the battery will be here, so it should all be nice and neat. So what I need to do with this panel is I need to cut the carpet and then cut out with a jigsaw just where the switch panel is going to be on that. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm not going to have the cables coming down on the outside of it. It just makes it a bit neater if they're behind. So I need to cut that carpet and then cut a big enough hole for, well, it's going to be about there somewhere, so for all the wires to come in and then down to the power box. So I've drawn out a template for the control panel, so I'll cut this out and then place it there, so I'll make it a bit easier, so I know exactly where I'll know exactly on that where I'm going to have to cut it out. So that's pretty much where I need to cut the carpet and then have the hole so it fits all these bits. And it'll be sitting like that. Holes cut in the plywood, so that will fit in like so. And then here will be these leads will come through down into the power box. The van has a 12-volt socket at the back. So I was asking on YouTube if I could use this with the relay and go into the leisure battery, but there's some debate as to whether or not I can do that, so I'm actually not going to bother. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably cut this off, put that back in, but wire this to the leisure battery so that I have this point at the back, like I was saying, for the 12-volt fridge, so it runs off the leisure battery rather than the van battery whenever the engine is running. It's proper cold now. I've got gloves on. I don't know if you can see that. My breath. So this, like I say, I have wired up, just drilled the hole and put that through, so that's going to go in there with that coming up into the power box. So that's that ready to go. So now it's just sorting this all out. Power box set up, battery on where it's meant to be. Obviously I'm going to build a wooden structure around this. Yeah, everything's in place. Well, that's just sitting there, but I've marked the edge this is going to be up to, so I know to drill little kind of pilot holes for there and then fix this to that so that it's in a good position. Can't really move it. Let's see. So it should sit about there. It's more than enough room to put the wires in and out for that. Power box fitted to the plywood panel, just temporarily. Obviously secured a bit more, 4 screws. So it's a matter of, let's see, that solar panel will go through that circuit breaker into the controller box, and then the fuse box. All these wires will have to go into that for all the separate components, and then connect positive and negative to the battery. Got this solar panel plugged in to the controller. So the solar panel is currently charging the battery. So what I'm going to do is connect this switch panel up first. It's all wired up. None of these switches are going to be used, only one. Probably that to actually turn this on. It'll be in there like so. Got these little things off, I think it was eBay, just for connecting wire to wire. So I'll be putting that onto the wire and then connect it into the controller switch. Cable from the switch panel rather crudely wired into the fuse box. There's a 20 amp fuse in there, should be more than enough. So then obviously negative to the battery, positive to the battery, and the good news is it works. This last switch isn't connected, but basically, yeah, so you got your voltage, all your switches on that. So I'm going to try and plug in a few things. It should work all right. So connected up just a speaker that I've been using, just to make sure everything's all right. And there's like a wee adapter in there as well. So what I'm going to do next is start connecting everything up off camera, because I'm sure it's not very exciting. Yeah, so lamp on the other side, and then on this side will be the other 12 volt point for the little kind of kitchen unit. In all the confusion, I forgot to sort this out. This is like a remote display for the solar charge controller, so I'll need to sort out some kind of system on the plywood where it's just going to kind of sit above the switch panel, and that basically shows me all the details on this, obviously, because this will be boarded in. I won't be able to see it, so that I'll have to cut a hole and then connect that grey cable into the box, probably through that point. Drawn out, stuck on a rough template from the back of this, so I know where to cut, because that circle will have to go into the plywood as such. So I'll cut that out and place that in. So I've finally got that communication cable in, which is going down to the controller box. It's plugged in there. So then it's coming right to here. So that is working. We're getting there. Power box is all wired up. I know it looks a mess, but it will be tidied. I have to install the relay there, and the wire from the van battery will go USB 12 volt on that side, and then the likes of the sweet touch lamp, which is very handy. They're great, these. I'll put the link below. So that's the electrical fixtures in place. The spot lamp with the USB in it, 12 volt switch panel, and the central light. So 12 volt USB. These spot lamps are brilliant. Like I say, you can put plug a USB into them, and they're touch them, turn on, touch it again just to hold it. So fitted the relay, wire coming in to the van, up in to the relay box. We've got the light on the fuse wired up to the battery negative, temporarily just earthed. So that's reading is 14, which is correct. So that is charging the battery. So that's the electrics done. That was pretty complicated. Obviously that's the first time I've ever done it. Learned a lot doing that through just kind of trial and error, and obviously just kind of referencing other videos on YouTube, but I got there eventually. Obviously it's a bit of a mess at the minute, but I will tidy that up, and that whole power box will be boxed in, so you shouldn't see that when it's finished. For the next part, I will be doing the ceiling, which should help with the condensation, because it's been terrible. It's been like raining inside the van, like a rainforest. So I'll be doing that after Christmas. So as always, thanks for watching. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and see you next time.